Welcome back guys to another Unreal Engine 4 tutorial, and in this video we are going to create a storage system. One of my viewers requested this, so here it is. And this is going to be a multi-part series because I will not be able to make all of it in a single video, and in this video we are only going to create the chest blueprint and have an opening animation for it. So let's begin. The first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call this assets, and inside of this folder I'm going to create a folder called chest, and I'm going to implement my assets. Link, like always, is down in the description box down below. And I was making this model on my own and I messed up something with the skeletal, so when you import this, what you can do is select this skeletal to be like false. Do not import the skeletal because we need a static mesh. So if we uncheck that, then we are importing a static mesh. And mysteriously I have two of these, so we can delete one of them like so. There we go. And I'm going to open up my materials because in my model I have another small issue, so I'm going to begin with the material number 2, and I'm going to drag in the chest top number 2, connect the pins, and now to make sure I will save to see if this is the top piece. So this is the top piece, and the top piece has an issue, so if we open this model up and go inside of it, we can see through this, since this is just a one-sided mesh. So that was a mistake on my part. So how you can fix this is by selecting the base node and checking two-sided. So now if we save this, go back to the chest, go inside, and it is a two-sided mesh. The next thing, the first material, and I'm going to drag in the chest base texture. Connect this, and this model was fine, and I don't need to do a two-sided material for this one. So there we go, our assets are imported. The next thing what I'm going to do is, well, actually I already have this. We need a blueprint interface. This one is called open something in my case, and this is just an empty function which does not pass any variables, and we need this. So if you made a door tutorial, followed my door tutorial, you already have this. If not, then create a new empty blueprint interface. The next thing, I'm going to go to my inventory system, and inside of here I'm going to add a new blueprint class of a static mesh actor type, and I'm going to call this BP chest. I'm going to open this up, and for the static mesh component I'm going to do my chest bottom, so chest bottom part like so. And I'm also going to add another static mesh component, and I'm going to call this chest top, and the model itself needs to be a chest top piece like so. And now I want to align this to the top to be like so. There we go. So now compile and save. And I'm going to make this into a multiplayer chest so that everybody would see that we are opening it. So how I'm going to do that is by selecting the BP chest self, and I'm going to replicate movement and replicate itself as well. And for the chest top static mesh component, I'm going to do a component replicate like so. And another key feature, I already have this by default, this chest top needs to be a movable object because this lid is going to open and close. So now once we have this set up, I will go to the class settings and I will add my interface, which was open something. Now I will minimize this and I will go to my third-person character blueprint, and I'm going to show you something. If you have not followed my videos, especially the door tutorial video, then you might want to check this out and recreate this in your project. So on button E clicked, we are doing a line trace by channel, and we are checking if we have hit something and if this actor has a tag called door. And if it has, then we are opening the door. And here we have this custom run on server event, which basically does the same thing. It opens something and it opens a specific target. And in our case, those are doors. So now that we know that we need a door tag, then we need to go back to our BP chest, select our BP chest self, and here we need to search for a tag, and we need to add a door tag. Or you can make this whatever tag and just do another branch check to see if it has a specific tag, but I'm just going to use the door tag. And now I will do a new variable for my chest, and I'm going to call this is chest open, which is going to basically represent if the chest is or it's not open. And now I'm going to go to the event graph, and now we are going to start to create blueprints for our chest opening animation. So what I'm going to do now is delete all of these events. We don't need them. And what we do need is a event open something from our blueprint interface. And from here we are going to do a switch has authority to see if the client who is interacting with this, whether it is a server or a client user. So if this is a remote user, then we are going to do a cast to third-person character with object reference get player character with player ID 0, so that we would go to our server character. And from our server character, as the third-person character, we are going to do a open door function. And for this bottom target, we are going to do self, so that the event would know that we need to open this specific chest, like so. But if this is a server character, then we're going to do a if branch check to see if our chest is open. So that's pretty much it for now. We're going to add open and close functions here. So now let's create a custom event. And the custom event number 1 will be open chest, and the custom event number 2 is going to be a close chest. So what we can do now is from this open chest, I am going to do a branch check if, and we need to see if the rotation of the chest's opening is bigger than a specific value that we desire it to be. So how do we check these values is by selecting the viewport, selecting our top piece. I will remove this. And once we have selected our top piece, I'm going to click E on the keyboard to just rotate this lid. So now I will check in this rotation. I see that the X value is changing, so I need to rotate this in the X axis, and I'm going to do this by, let's say, 35 in the X axis. So what I need to do now is I need to drag in the chest top, and I need to do a get relative rotation. And to save up space, I actually might just right click this and split structure pin. And I'm going to check if the X axis, since we are opening this, I'm going to check if this is smaller or equal, well, only smaller than, let's say, 35 degrees. So I'm going to connect this to the condition. And if this is so, then I will do, well, actually first I will drag in the chest, and from the chest I will do set relative rotation, like so. And I will again right click the rotation and split pins, and I will connect the Z, Y, and from the X axis I will do a plus float. So I'm going to do +1, like so. Basically this will just add 1 pixel of rotation. And after this is done, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a delay. And well, we definitely need to make this smaller, so I'm going to make this like 0.1 delay. And from here we are going to do a open chest again. So basically this is going to rotate all the time until it meets the surpasses the condition. So, and if this is false, if we have the X axis rotation bigger than 35, then we are going to set that our chest is open. So set this to true, and it should look something like this. So the next thing what we can do now is just simply select all of this except for the event itself. I'm going to copy all of this and I'm going to paste it over here. Now I will connect this to the closed chest like so. And over here what we need to do is we need to do this the other way, so we need to delete this check. And we need to check if the x-axis is bigger than 0. And we need to connect this to the condition. And if it's not bigger than 0, if it's like smaller, then we need to check this to false. And for this set rotation, we need to delete this +1 and we need to do a -1. So float -1 float, like so. And at the end, we don't need to open the chest, we need to close the chest. And it should look something like this. So the next thing what we need to do is we need to select our custom events and we need to make sure that these are ran on server so that both of our characters would see the end results. So run on server. And now I'm just going to comment these. So this will be open chest and this will be close chest. Now we can run these events in our event open something. So if our chest is open, then we are going to close the chest, and if it's not open, then we are going to open the chest, like so. And I'm gonna comment this event open something. There we go. And now I will compile, save this, and let's try to drag in our chest. And now it looks super big, so what I'm gonna do is click R and hold Control and just make this smaller. And I will also make 2 windows to see if this does replicate properly. So again, I will test from the client server since this has the most issues usually, and I will press E. And there we go, the chest is opening, but it is opening like super slowly, but it is opening and it is closing and it does replicate. Now let's test this out from the other character, and the result is pretty much the same and it works just like it should. So the only thing what I'm gonna do is I will make these delays a bit smaller, so I'm gonna do like 0.05 and 0.05, or you could just add more units to this plus minus float. So now let's test this again, see if this goes a bit faster. Yes, and it seems pretty good. It does open pretty nicely. So that's going to be it for this tutorial, and in the next video we are going to try to store items in this chest, and in the third part, which should be the last part, we are going to remove the items from the chest. So stay tuned and see you guys in the next video.